Well, good morning, our beloveds. We are almost in the month of June. 5 catalyzes change. 6 represents the spiral going within and coming back out. There is a fluidity in experience. And then you look at the 7, straight line, hard edge, another straight line, back up. These numbers matter. And then you look at the 8, which is the infinity symbol. And in some cases, even a Mobius strip. So when you feel the energy of May, when you just feel or sit with what you have experienced this last month, would you agree that there was lots of movement or change or differences? Another graduated after 5 years, a completion. She had a birthday, a new year, a new cycle around the sun. Where is it that your life has changed almost cataclysmically this last month? And how does that feel? We know that it overwhelms the nervous system because change does that. An unknown factor requires you to experience maybe some fear, maybe some curiosity, maybe some excitement. But it definitely catalyzes change because what once was no longer is. So please notice what you do when the universe brings about or forces change upon you. Do you expand into it with excitement and curiosity? Or do you shut down with fear, unable to move, unable to do anything? Or is it a bit of both? Or do you just go numb? Meaning, I can't feel fear and I can't feel curiosity. This is all just simply too much. And that is shut down. Some of you just keep on keeping on, pretending that nothing has happened and forcing your life to continue. But at some point it will need to change because some doors have closed and other doors have opened. And none of this is bad and none of this is good. It just is, right? It's like saying that seasons are good or bad. They just are. And you know with certainty they will return next year at this time and next year, though there may be variation. Finding yourselves right now is much like Dora and her backpack. Backpack, backpack. We are sending you out into the world with a backpack and very limited knowledge and asking you to explore your surroundings around you to figure out what new possibilities and new opportunities are. Many of you are so ingrained in the rhythm of your life that the troughs are so deep that you cannot even see because the landline is above your head. You literally are just walking in this tunnel without any curiosity or expectation of change. You are drones. You are worker bees who have no idea of the actual world outside of you because you are so entrenched in your patterns, and it is easier to be comfortable without having to really be alive or process or critically think. And yet the universe is bringing about so many earth changes, and we say that just generically, to force everyone to step out of their autonomic system and to begin living again. It may be living in fear. It may be living in curiosity. It may just simply be living in a space of change. If you lose your job and you have to find a new job, you have new skills you need to learn, new people to befriend, new paths to get to and from work, new adjustments. Is it a pay raise or is it a reduction? There's always going to be change that surrounds change. Embrace it, envelop it, invite it in. We know what's on the horizon, and it is big, and it is catastrophic, but it is generally within the catastrophizing that you guys make things worse. If you know that there's going to be a big earth change which causes the Mississippi River to expand dramatically, meaning that the bridges will break, but more water will flow through. There's the positive and the negative. You will see as these earth changes come that new opportunities will arise, new creative solutions, new communities will be built up because you will be more landlocked. If you cannot import the foods that you normally have had because the roadways are crumbling and need to be rebuilt in certain sections, well, that means that whatever has been being transported from point A to point B will have disruptions. Everyone will need to step in and figure out how to be a point of solution. And oftentimes, right, mastery is only achieved when some new challenge arises that requires being solved. And the brightest and the most creative minds are best suited, not the wealthiest, not the most powerful, and not those who have the most to gain. It should be the creative ones who bring new insight into how to create the Aquarian age. And in order to bring about these solutions, mass disruptions will occur, will need to occur. In order for a new species to be planted, we must burn down, dismantle, remove what currently exists to create the clean slate for this new way of being. And that means disruption. So you can focus on the disruption and be a whirlybird in a tornado and get overwhelmed. Or you can say, this is the painful part that none of us really like, other than maybe the anarchists. But this is something we need to go through. Let's band together as a team. How do we build communities? How do we build loving communities that are built without hierarchy, that are built on complementary skills, similar intentions, community-oriented activism? What was finishing off in the 1990s and the early 2010s is now ready to be dismantled to bring about greater harmony, greater peace, and a greater belief in the return to the community, of the village, of the ways of the ancestors. And yet it will be improved upon because your technology will allow for solutions that were not available back then. So simply lean into this and trust that there is purpose in the chaos, that there is purpose in the deconstruction, and that if you follow your points of inspiration, that you will find something that you would not have built out under or within the old construct. This is what evolution looks like and feels like. You guys lost your tails at some points, right? That's the belief that many of you have. But now we are literally going to create a super brain. And it is not because the technology will be implanted into your skull. It is because you will connect to the divine, to the universe, to your intuitive knowing. Your antennas will grow higher, wider, stronger. And you will get a better connectivity to what is out there. And within that, you will find the creative solutions that are available to humanity now that weren't even available 3 years ago or 5 years ago. Because humanity's collective consciousness has shifted, has evolved, and is more curious, and more importantly, is actually aligned with survival now. The upheavals that we have been having, it's like the cough before the pneumonia. You're strengthening your lung muscles by coughing a lot, expelling stuff, so that when you get pneumonia, even though you will be almost defeated, you will have strong lung muscles to help you with the breathing, to help you to get through. This is muscle memory that is so important. So right now, there's a bit of the cheese grater, a bit of resiliency creation, because this is what will be needed to get through the next 100 years. Muscle memory, which requires muscles. Active use, performative use, creative use, simply being present in your body and not just simply sitting behind a desk, using your fingers and maybe your toes to work on keyboards. This requires living in the actual 3D world, farming, creating, growing, building, community. And so it is. Namaste.